Hey everybody, it's Regan Sample, real estate agent with St. Vrain Realty here in Longmont, and I'm here today with Wendy Shimer, chiropractor at Shimer Chiropractic in North Longmont. What made you want to become a chiropractor, and what makes your practice different than some of the others in town?
I always wanted to help people, and I saw like this video or show about a physical therapist and helping like a Marine get back on their feet. So I technically wanted to be a physical therapist. When I saw this one patient working with the physical therapist and he started threatening to spit on her as she was stretching him, and I kind of looked at that and saw people coming in pain, leaving in pain, and I was like, that's not really what I'm looking for. I want to motivate and I want to help and heal. So then I started looking at being like a medical doctor, and I volunteered to the ER and saw what that was all about. And I just noticed that the medical doctors seemed like they were looking up a lot of things in books, So I was like, well, I kind of want to know more. And then I drove by a chiropractic office and I called my mom and I was like, well, what's a chiropractor? I've never even heard of it, let alone been one. And my mom was like, oh, you should totally go in and see what it's about. So I was like, all right, I'll volunteer and see. So I went in, and the next thing you know, I saw this elderly lady come into the office. You could tell she was hunched over in pain. The chiropractor adjusted her. She got up off the table and she was straighter. She looked taller. The eyes started sparkling again. She was in so much less pain, and then she was almost happy. And I was like, I don't know what this is, but I want to do it. This is what it is. This is what I want to do. And then one of my sister's really good friends lived out here and says, no, you need to come out to Colorado, see what it's like. Chiropractic out here, people love it. They believe in their health. They want to make sure their health is on par, and they want to achieve that more so than going to the medical doctors. And I said, all right, fine. So my family kind of looked at me goofy when I said, I'm moving to Colorado. So I came out probably I think it was about March 2012. So I moved out here, got, my licenses transferred, started working for a company in Arvada. And then they pulled out. So then I started working for another company here in Longmont, and I started traveling, and that was back in like December 2013. And so I was driving up from Arvada up here, and then it was just like the beauty of Longmont, and then the people up here, and then adjusting people, and it's just like I fell in love with Longmont. So then I decided to open up my own practice. So here I am opening my own practice, and a lot of those patients followed me.
What is it that makes you different? What modalities or techniques do you do that make you stand out?
I try to educate them on their whole experience. Like, well, you're going to feel this when I adjust you, and this is the reason why, and then this is your reaction later on, and it's because of blah, 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 because this is how your body does things. So I try to educate as I go along, but then I add jokes in it. So I have these moves that I do that I know are more painful. So I call them the hate-love relationship. You absolutely hate it when I put it in, but then afterwards you're like, oh, thank you. That's what I needed,
Absolutely. But what kind of protocols and things do you have in place for someone that might be a little nervous to go in and have sort of a hands-on experience with how things are right now with the pandemic still kind of going on?
Gotcha. Well, we always require people to wear a mask. Okay. I usually am wearing a KN95 mask when I adjust. And then I furthered my protocols than what they have stipulated here in Colorado for rules and regulations. So I have like 3 HIPAA filters running all the time. Wow. And then my sister, who's in the medical field, told me the UVC light kills it within 5 seconds, but you can't look at the light. So I technically have a HIPAA filter with a UVC light in it, and then I have a UVC light in the bathroom, and then I have one in the waiting room.
So you
And
got that. You got this buttoned down. We were talking earlier, and you mentioned something about like some of your technique that I think is different from some other chiropractors, where you were talking about whole body and extremities, including skull and TMJ. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes. So some patients require some cranial therapy where you slowly shift the skull around, which then can actually help TMJ issues. Because what I found while doing that is if your hard palate, which is on the top of the roof of your mouth, if that's kind of like buckled in or whatever, then your jaw isn't lining up in the correct spot here. Because if you think your jaw is one bone, so in essence, if this part of your skull is in a little bit, that means it's not laying in correctly with the rest. So it's not in the joint correctly because the movement of the jaw is up and back. So sometimes going in and gloving up and actually working on that hard palate and soft palate and opening that back up, you can actually help people with TMJ. But in addition to that, you have to go to the neck area because those muscles are correlated, because not everyone has that issue. Sometimes it's a neck issue, and because those muscles attaching into the jaw can affect it, or vice versa. If you have jaw issues and a lot of popping and cracking, and you're noticing your neck and you keep going in and it's still bugging you with the neck, sometimes adjusting the jaw and moving it ever so slightly can help everything else.
Wow, that's awesome. That's amazing. Yeah. So, well, awesome. Well, thank you so much again, Dr. Shimer, for taking the time, and and hoping you're having a great rest of your day. And everyone, check out Shimer Chiropractic on North Main Street here in Longmont.
Thank you. You have a great day.